Today's Talk About It Tuesday question is, I saw a post on social media by a popular financial guru that said you should start your business as a sole proprietorship. If it does well, you should upgrade to an LLC. If you're ready to take a salary, you should upgrade to an S Corp. What are your thoughts on this advice? Before I trash it completely, I found they sent me the post, so I'm gonna read you the exact post so that I'm not misquoting what the advisor is saying. Now, I'm not gonna say who the advisor is, but this person is a well-known tax advisor giving business advice. So the person says this, and the post is entitled "The Road to Business Ownership." Step 1, start as a sole proprietorship. You are not sure you are dedicated yet. Relax. Step 2, upgrade to LLC when you have significant uptick in operations, and in parentheses, actual income and expenses consistently. Step 3, upgrade to S Corp when your business can afford to pay you, the owner, a reasonable salary to avoid self-employment tax. Now, even from a tax perspective, this is probably the worst business advice I've ever seen in my life. So let me tell you why. So first of all, in 2025, no one, absolutely no one should start as a sole proprietor. I've done enough videos on that, but just to give you some highlights as to why, it is the absolute worst business structure for taxes. It is the absolute worst business structure for liability protection because it has none. It does not separate you from the business at all. It is the absolute worst business structure if you want to sell it because you can't sell it. It is the absolute worst if you want to pass it on to your heirs because you cannot. It is a horrible business structure that is for a lazy person that has zero benefit. And the cost of setting it up is almost identical in every state to setting up a corporation or an LLC. So no one, absolutely no one should start as a sole proprietorship. It is not an upgrade. It is a different business structure. You don't upgrade your business structure. You create a business structure based on what makes the most sense for you, not even now, but down the road. You don't upgrade. So let's just talk about this idea of, and let me just say this. There is no difference in function of an LLC pretty much and an S Corp. They're both what you call a flow-through entity. So the profits or losses both pass on to the owner in an LLC or an S Corp. The difference is an S Corp is a single member corporation who has decided to make it a flow-through entity. An LLC can be a single or multi-member LLC, which is basically like a corporation, but it's a limited liability company. And again, I've done enough videos on what an LLC is versus what a corporation is versus the others. None of them are upgrades. They are different. So now let's just talk about why it's a horrible, horrible idea anyway. So if you start as a sole proprietor, and again, give yourself all this risk and all this liability and all this other stuff. Once you decide to, and it's not an upgrade, to change, and your business can't change, by the way, change to an LLC, it is starting a new business. You don't upgrade, you don't change. That means you have to dissolve the sole proprietorship. That means you have to sell off the assets, if it has any, to the new LLC, which means you are filing a separate forms with the state to become a new business entity. It does not transfer over. So what does that mean? Whatever business history you had is erased. It is gone. That is dead. You will need a new EIN number, which is like a social security number for a business. You will need a new bank account because that bank account was attached to that old business. It is gone. Any credit that you had established is gone. Any credit cards that you had are gone. Any accounts you had with suppliers are gone. Anything that was associated with the old business is now gone, and you are starting over as a brand new business that has to establish all those things again. So it makes zero sense to start somewhere and then to change it. If you then decide to change to a corporation, which has no value whatsoever to change from an LLC to a corporation, because again, they function pretty much the same way. Zero sense to do that. And tax-wise, if it's a flow-through, it's a flow-through. There's no benefit from it from a tax perspective. You would have to do the same thing. You will dissolve this business, file new paperwork with a new fee, get new EIN, new bank account, the whole thing again. For what? That is the dumbest advice I've ever seen from a so-called expert on business. Either this person, and I'm not going to say they don't know taxes because I didn't look at their other information on taxes, but they certainly don't know anything about business and business structures and even business taxes, if that's the advice that they're giving, because that's horrible advice. You don't upgrade your business. You choose a business entity and you stay with it, period. Can you upgrade how you operate your business? Yes. Can you restructure things inside of your business? Even you can restructure whether you want it to be taxed as a flow through or you want it to be taxed as a separate entity. But you can do that within the structure, whether it's an LLC or a corporation. You don't change. You don't, and you never start as a sole proprietor just because it's you or just because you think it's easy. You should be operating the business exactly the same, no matter what the structure is. How you operate the business doesn't change. What the entity provides for you is different. And so based on your needs, you will structure it from day one, never as a sole proprietorship, never as a general partnership, not in 2025, but either as an LLC or a corporation. And you file as a C corporation. You don't even file as an S corporation. So I don't even know why she said that. Whoop, I said she. I don't even know why this person said that. You file as a C corporation. And the S is just a tax designation, meaning you want to operate as a flow through the same as an LLC. So that makes zero sense. So if this thing comes across your feed, don't even pay attention to it. And please don't share it with anybody. It had like 3,000 and something shares. Oh my goodness. That's horrible. That's horrible. So, yeah, that's my take on that advice. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Please like, share, subscribe. Keep the questions coming, and I'll see you next Tuesday.